bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-ba-dum. Hello, my friends. Good evening, my favorite people. Hi ho, Silver, and away we go. Welcome to the Health Freedom Classroom. Yeah, the camera's all off, Perry. We're going to need your help here. Welcome to Practical Homeopathy. Hi, friends. It's Monday night, and we do one thing and one thing only on Monday nights. I teach you what I know about homeopathy, and I share with you how I make it work in my life for my clients, my family, my students, and they're, oh, wait a minute, it's moving around. Oh boy, it's all over the place. No good, Perry. I don't know why that camera never, come and take a look. It's all cockeyed. Yep. Let me see if I move over a little bit. I think it's more, I think it's this way. Okay. Alrighty, friends, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Joette Calabrese. I know, you're getting seasick just looking at all of this stuff. And so this is what we do. There's Dr. Samuel Hahnemann right here with us. And for those who do know me, welcome, my dear friends. It's so good to see you all. Yeah, I think you've got it. No, you almost had it, Perry. Yeah, you almost had it. All right, food cravings. Let's talk about it. You know, when I was young, as I said, I'd just scratch that itch, but not anymore. I don't do that. Well, let's put it this way. I work at it. I work hard at it, at not doing it. And I'm going to tell you that I think that craving sweets, we got it, Perry. I think, oh, no, you don't. It was there a minute ago. Oh, look at it. It's all over the place. No go. Look at that. It's half a face. I should go this way. Let's see what happens when I'm over here. I used to, I would just have sweets. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've always been very interested in nutrition and foods, and I often, not always, but for many years, let's say decades, I purchased my meat directly from farmers or ranchers. I'd buy a whole cow, a whole lamb, 50 chickens, and a couple of turkeys every year, sometimes pork, and I would get my raw milk, and we always had as good a food as I could come up with, but I always had a sweet tooth. And that's such a nice way of saying I stupidly had a great desire for sweets. Yeah, Perry's working on it. I think, wait a minute, Perry, you had it a minute ago. You had it just a minute ago, and now it's gone again. Now there's none, I'm not in at all. Nice job, Perry. You can't even see me. Oh, now we're looking at a door. All right. Why don't you come and take a look? I think you've got it completely off. Earthquakes, as says Jody. Hi from Montana. Hi, replying to, okay, so people are helping each other. I love it. Hello, Miss Joette Calabrese. It's so great to see you. Hello from Florida, says Esther. I can see you just fine. I know, really. Oh, wait a minute. I think you may have gotten it, Perry. Just don't do another thing. Yes, you are centered on my screen. Okay, we can see you. I can see you fine. Okay, perfect. Harry says perfect. I so trust you, Harry. Elizabeth says, okay. It's going so quickly. Elizabeth says, Vicky, Elizabeth's talking to Vicky about her finger. Okay, you can see me very well, Irene from Montreal. That's good. Okay, we're right. We're centered. It really worked. Oh, goodness. So, you're fine, not off. Good from Topeka, says Deborah. Lori says, I see you. Okay, it's perfect, says Francis. Everybody stop. It was an earthquake. Hi, Paula. Nice job, Perry. Harry says, you've done a nice job. Good evening, everyone, says Tina from South Carolina. Oh, my gosh, it's so good. Love to see you all. Okay, so, look, I really endeavor to stay as strict as I possibly can. Ketovore, carnivore, long periods of time carnivore, also keto, because sometimes I have vegetables. My neighbor just gave me a couple of cucumbers from her garden, and you think I'm going to say no? What am I supposed to do with them? They look delicious. We ate them. They're delicious. They're wonderful. And now she said tomatoes are coming. I'm going to eat them. And when I go to my son's house, my son and daughter-in-law make, they grind their own flour. They buy the wheat berries from Italy, and then they, ancient wheat berries. And then they grind them down in their grain mill, and then they sift them. I used to do that, but not to the same degree. I never got mine from Italy, nor did I sift them. But I did grind them, and I would make my own sourdough, and that's what they do. They make their own sourdough bread every week. And if I happen to be there at that time, my friends, I'm having it. I'm having that sourdough bread dipped in olive oil or slathered in butter, salt and pepper. There's no doubt about it. But it is something that I fight maybe not so much every day. It's getting a little easier, and I think it's because I've been on this carnivore-ish way of eating for quite some time. I mean, it's been many, many months. And before that, it was keto because, I would have just maybe some string beans or something like that, and maybe asparagus or some other cooked vegetable with my meat. But I eat a lot of eggs, a lot of beef. I eat pork. Oh, yes, indeedy. I eat chicken, not much, but I do eat it. And lately I've been eating a lot more sardines. And I've never been tested. My A1C has never been tested. I do a finger prick from time to time, and my numbers are good, but I have been suspicious that I've not been in the range for a very long time. So that's enough about me. I just want to tell you that what I have done, at least to help me get through this. The number one homeopathic medicine that I use to keep myself from eating sweets is syzygium. Now, it's not even homeopathic. It's really botanical. Syzygium, syzygium mother tincture. Tastes terrible. I just squirt it in my mouth, or sometimes I just put it in my coffee in the morning. And that has, if I feel as though it's coming on, and it does come on, you know how that sometimes can come on waves. Now, some of you don't have this problem. You don't have this desire. And consider yourselves very fortunate, because it is an albatross. There's no doubt about it. So now I'm going to tell you what I've done here. I'll tell you a little bit more about what I've done, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing in the repertoire. I'm looking in Robin Murphy's 4th edition of the Meta Repertory. It's not going to tell you what potency, and it's not even going to decide the remedy for you, but what it will do is give you some very good choices to consider. And, for example, it says beef desires, and I do desire beef. I eat a lot of beef. Almost every night we have beef. And so there's some interesting remedies there that I don't consider that a pathology. It's an interesting characteristic. But more importantly, let's see if I can find this now. Beef desires. There are only about 10 remedies there. But then there's also desires bread, and that's on page 976. Desires bread. There are a lot of remedies there. And I do love bread, but I would not say it's not quite the same for me. It's really, I'm going to tell you, and desires butter. Where's my butter? I've got my butter here somewhere. Desires butter. Oh, I eat a lot of butter. And that is one of my tricks, my friends. I'll tell you, when I look at desires butter, it's pulsatilla, mercurius. These are the top remedies. But I find that when I'm craving sweets, if the syzygium is not acting, or I didn't think of it soon enough, because sometimes it takes some time, I just start eating butter. I get a cup of coffee, a cup of tea. If it's not first thing in the morning, if it's later in the day, and it usually is, that's when it hits. More often, not only for me, but for many others, 1:30, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, that time in the afternoon, or evening after dinner. I will make some decaf coffee, and I'll put some butter in it. Maybe not some. A good amount of butter. But sometimes just decaf coffee will take care of it for me. Now, then desires cakes, page 977. And I was sharing this with a dear client today. We were talking about our cravings for sweets. And I said, you know, when I make something to take to someone's home or to give to a neighbor who's been sick, or, you know, I don't make cookies because I'll eat them. Before they get to that person's house, I'll have had, you know, half a dozen. I don't make cupcakes for the same reason. So I thought I'd outsmart myself, and I'd usually make a cake. And usually it's 2 layers. But oh no, I cheat on that too. I have to get it out of the house as quickly as I possibly can, because just having it in the house, it will be calling to me, you know. Joette, I'm in the pantry. So what I do, this is not a solution, friends. This is a pitfall. I make 2 layers, flip over one of them, cut out the bottom, stuff that hole that I just made with frosting, put it back on the platter, and that's my little treat, is the bottom of the cake. No one ever knows, because then on top of that comes more frosting, and then the next layer. And when they cut into it, it just looks like there's a lot of frosting in the cake. So I thought I was tricking myself, but to be honest, I was really causing more trouble. Oh, Susan B says Rice Krispie treats are my downfall. Well, the problem is it's got the crunch. It's got the crunch. Now I have to tell you, I'm going to do a little video because my husband and I were just in Toronto yesterday. And we went specifically for one reason, because there was a little store called the Good Cheese Store on Gerrard Street. And I'll tell you more about it when I do this little video. And they had the greatest selection of sardines I've ever seen in my entire life. And so I need to find something that's going to draw me away from these sweets. I'm not eating them every day, but just in case, find something that's so delectable, that's so loaded with garlic, that's so unusual, that's from Sardinia, that's from Portugal, from Africa. So I went to this place, and they had so many different kinds of sardines. It was so much fun. But, yeah, my secret's out. But that kind of a store also has great cheeses. So I bought some cheese. Yeah, I mean, you can't resist cheeses from all over the world, raw and very creamy, and sheep and, you know, pecorino, wonderful cheese. But then my eyes landed on the chocolate. Oh yeah, here we go. I use pork rinds instead of Rice Krispies. It helps. The crunch is there. It helps, Diane. You're right. However, I saw the chocolate, and I like that Rice Krispie crunch too. And the woman who was helping me in the store said, "This is an unusual candy bar here, you know. It's got ants in it. Ants, like chunks of ants." She says, "Oh no, so tiny. It's just there's barely a crisp, really, really tiny. So you're not like eating an entire ant." She says, "But it gives it a tiny crisp." You think that I said no, thank you? Oh, nay, my friends. I bought that chocolate bar, and it's gone. So on the way home from Toronto, I said to my husband, "Want some ants chocolate?" And he said, "Well, I don't know what you mean, but sure, I'll have some." So I waited till he started to eat it. And I said, "Well, you feel that little tiny little bit of a crisp here and there? Those are ants." So yeah, we learned that chocolate Easter bunnies had bases on them. Oh yeah. Yeah. That is the new thing, bugs in chocolate. Now, I have to say, Heather, you're right, and it makes me nervous that there are bugs in chocolate, because it goes along with that whole thing. You'll have nothing and you'll be happy, or you'll eat bugs instead of meat. So I said, "Oh, I don't know," but I thought I would try one. The ants would cure me of wanting the chocolate, says Pam from Colombia. It was dark chocolate. It was quite delicious. And I'm going to be ordering from this little shop again to get more sardines. And I've actually thought about getting another one. My hubby would have been so mad at me, says Susie. Well, see, my family's probably, maybe yours is too, Susie. My family's accustomed to me having done that kind of stuff. I used to buy Rocky Mountain oysters and all kinds of, I made a lot of beef tongue, and I like making unusual foods. I think it's really fun. But at any rate, let's get back to how we can get past this, okay? So, Desires Pastries. that's really, and cakes. Oh, there's also pastries, but desires cakes. There's adamas, lycopodium, pituitary A, plumbum. Pulsatilla is an important one. And so that's very valuable. Pulsatilla could be very valuable, even though I don't consider pulsatilla a really great remedy necessarily for me. I think it could be very useful for this. Then cereals, Desires cereal. I hear people talking about this, that they really want to have cereal. There are only 2 remedies, friends. Calcaria carbonicum, carcinosin, and thuya. 3 remedies. 3 remedies. Yeah, the name of the shop is called the Good Cheese Store on Gerrard Street East in Toronto. Now, unfortunately, they said they don't ship to the U.S., so this is for my Canadian friends. So it would be nice. I asked if they could, because we're going to do I'm going to promote them. I think it's a great little store. I want everybody to know about it. I was so happy. I was so pleased. This woman, Meg, was so helpful to me, and she showed me. I said, would you mind spending some time with me and showing me the sardines? Shelves and shelves of sardines. I mean, it was amazing. Actually, many years ago, says Francis, there was information showing bugs crawling onto ships carrying chocolate and landing in the chocolate. Serious. Oh, yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah. Can't be worse than GMO, says Harry. You got that right. Absolutely. So this is what I do. I eat butter because it satiates. And I've eaten enough butter that it actually gets me to the point where I'm nauseated by it. So that helps. I mean, I don't want to be sick, but I also don't want to be sick the next day either. And I don't want my blood sugar to go up. And I also don't want to gain a few pounds. Now, I wouldn't gain a few pounds from one day, but one day leads to another day, which leads to a second and a third and a fourth day. Yes, that's right, Tina. Desires cereals, carcinosin, kelp carb, and thuya. And carcinosin is one of our great medicines for diabetes, type 2 diabetes. So that's valuable because I hear it all the time. I've got to have my cereal. What? No, I got to have cereal. Yeah, I need to go to Porto, Portugal. You're right. Same thing, walls and walls. Kim, you're absolutely right. And one of the boxes that I bought, a little box of sardines, is from Porto, Portugal. Yeah, I have a friend who's going there in a couple of weeks, and I'm bringing her a little container that I bought here that she can kind of copy when she gets there. Okay, that's not it. How about this? Chocolate. Desires chocolate. That's page 978. Is there anybody here who doesn't desire? I mean, there are some people who don't. Most women do, especially as, hormonally before menses, around menopause and post. Now, there are a lot of remedies here, but the top remedy for Desires chocolate is Argentum nitricum. I've actually written about that. I wrote about a chef many years ago. I mean, I don't know, maybe it was 25 years ago. I wrote about a chef who was a fine chef, and but she craved, what was it, ho-hos? Now I've forgotten, Twinkies, something really grotesque, but she couldn't help herself. She used to hide them in her underwear drawer because she was so embarrassing. And some of this is embarrassing, my friends. And I suggested that she take Argentum nitricum, and it made a huge difference in her life. So Argentum nitricum, fabulous medicine, not very commonly known, great for anxiety, but especially cravings, sweets, chocolates. It's such a great medicine, so consider it. Argentum nitricum. Okay, my solution to a need for that crunch, I make healthy, crispy nuts. Yeah, I do that too. I soak in sea salt water, then rinse and coat with natural ingredients, sweet coconut sugar, maple syrup, honey, vanilla, cinnamon, etc., savory seasonings, barbecue sauce, etc. Then I gently dry them, preserve the ends. Oh, I don't do it to the same degree you do. But the problem is, even if it's maple syrup, it's still sugar. Still boils down to, might as well just be I realize the great ingredients you're using, but I used to follow that kind of thinking. Well, I'm using maple syrup, and it's from my neighbor. It was just, it was sap from the trees down the street. So we'll just use the maple syrup or honey. We had honeybees for years. Oh, it's our honey. No. Still, I'm not saying that it doesn't have nutrition. It's got some, but cane sugar's got nutrition too, when you think about it. So I had to fight that because That is exactly where I was going with all of this. I would make my own pies. Of course, I would use tallow or lard and grind my flour and make my crust, and it was beautiful. And my fruit came from my elderberry tree, or the cherry tree I had, or the apple tree I had. I just picked them and made them, and still sugar. Your insulin levels don't know any difference. So dark chocolate is so perfect, says Ellen. Twinkies. You're right, Susie. It was Twinkies that chef craved. That's right. Sometimes craving chocolate can be low magnesium, and you're right, Harry. It can be. You're absolutely right. It can be a craving of magnesium, especially when it's a woman around menses. There's no doubt about it. Macular degeneration too, says Bernie. Is it Bernie? Yes, Bernie. Potency. For craving chocolate, I would use a 200. Now, it doesn't mean you can't use a 30. I would use a 200 maybe every 3 days or so. But if I was being seized by the moment and I decided to use Argentum nitricum, I might use it in a 30 and use it a couple times a day for a few days. Can give up chocolate for those raspberry croissants and the perfect buttery crust 3 blocks away, Diana. You're so right. Oh my God. Yeah, it's those buttery crusts. That's right. So, you could use 30s, you could use a 200, you could even use a 6 for that matter. So I find for me, it's the syzygium. It generally works, but I take it every day. And if I feel as though I'm going to be tempted, I'm going to a party or something, and I know they're going to have great stuff, and it's going to be really hard for me I might even put it in my purse and drop some drops in my mouth ahead at the party or just before we left for the party. Now, when my kids were little and it was party time, I knew that if they were hungry and they went to a party, they would just eat whatever was there, which was, of course, cake and ice cream and candies and pop, etc. So before we left for the party, I would make them the most spectacular meal ever, their favorite, pork chops or lamb chops, whatever it was they were into at the time, mashed potatoes with a ton of butter and a lot of cream. And I would stuff them to the gills. And then I used to make this chocolate candy type thing, and it was, I thought it was so clean. It was cocoa powder with coconut oil. I used a little bit of honey or maple syrup at that time too. And I gave it to them on the way to the party. They were so full that sometimes they said, "Oh, Mom, I feel almost sick. I ate too much." So that's a technique. And it worked for my children, so it should work for me. So before I go to a party where there are going to be a lot of treats, I often fill myself up on what I believe is best for me. Okay, let's just see. I soak my nuts, my almonds too. I soak them in water 24 hours. Then I dehydrate them slowly, and then I put a little bit of salt on them and spices. That's a wonderful thing. You're right. It's really. I hope I was not criticizing you when you talked about that. Because soaking nuts can make a difference because they have to be. You have to get rid of the lectins. Where do I get the syzygium drops? You can buy them on Amazon. You can get them from, who is the manufacturer? Somebody's going to tell. One of my students is going to tell. I believe I've bought it from OHM Pharma. If you're a student or a client of mine, then that could be a very good choice. Yes, Argentum nitricum is for macular degeneration, my friends. And I've had extremely good luck with that. Yeah, I know that that seems crazy if you don't know homeopathy, but Joette, have you ever had clients or students tell you syzygium mother tincture made their blood sugar go up? I've heard that from one lady in my Gateway Signal group. No, I have never heard that. And that's an interesting thing. I'd be surprised, but yeah, it's certainly possible. It is one of our great medicines, not just for curbing sweet cravings, but it is also specifically for diabetes. So it may be the wrong medicine for her. Be Healthy Homeopathic has a number of tinctures. Okay, there you go, says Heather. Oh, Reckeweg. There you go, Cindy. Thank you. But it can take a long time. Reckeweg is on Dr. Schwab, and Reckeweg are both on Amazon, and they can take a whole month to get. It's frustrating. What about syzygium pills? I'm wondering if you mean syzygium homeopathically, because I don't know about the pills. Maybe you mean capsules. No, I've only bought it in tincture. That's the only way I use it, because that's how I've learned to use it through the years for diabetes and blood sugar, etc. In Canada, you can buy syzygium from Thompson Homeopathy. Thank you, Franca. You're absolutely right. Thompson's Homeopathics in Toronto is excellent. You want to know that. If you're in Canada, that's who you want to know. Taproots has many tinctures also. Yes, SBL has it as well, says Tina. You're right, SBL. Let's see what else we've got here. Psychology. Yeah, Francis says you use psychology on your kids before parties. Laugh out loud. It's funny, I know. Let's see if it's been skipping around so quick. I don't know that I've gotten them all. Helonius. You're right, Jennifer. Helonius is one of our all-time great remedies for blood sugar problems. And I dare say I'm going to talk about another remedy when we go to my mighties. I'm not comfortable telling you about it on the internet. So please, for those of you who are our mighties, be sure to join us. And if you haven't already joined, then I don't know who's with me tonight. Is it Serena? Is it Natalie? Whoever's with me, be sure to give people information should they be interested in sharing some information on how to get to mighties tonight. Let's see. Okay. Oh, and you know what somebody else said? Somebody may have said that one of the best remedies for this is, or maybe not a remedy, it's an addition. And I add this to my coffee as well in the morning, and that's cinnamon. But it must be from Sri Lanka. So it's cinnamon Ceylon, not cinnamon from China. It still tastes the same. And I buy tincture of cinnamon, put a drop of it into my coffee. 3 drops burns my mouth. 1 drop is perfect. I can taste it, and it actually has a slight sweet taste. And I'm hoping that they don't note 5 years, 20 years from now that cinnamon increases your blood sugar, because it does taste a little bit sweet. Love a glass of milk. Yeah, hi everybody. Don't forget. Okay, there we go. I don't know who's with me tonight. Serena, maybe. So grateful to you. Thank you. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, my friends. It's wonderful to be here with you. Oh, it's Serena. Okay, great, Serena. Hey, Ceylon cinnamon, says Michelle. That's right. No, Jody, that is Argentum nitricum is not for cataracts. I've written about it, though. Joette Calabrese cataracts. You'll find it on my blog. The 2 remedies that we often mix together. Oh, here we go. Cindy says Joepathy uses Arnica 6 in the wet dose twice a day, and I'm finding it helps. So, Cindy, are you talking about blood sugar, about diabetes? Tell us what you're talking about. I'd love to know how far it has taken you. I have used that with folks, but I like to hear when something is acting, especially with a specific protocol. Arnica 6, yeah, in the wet dose, meaning it's about 8 ounces of water with a full dose of the remedy, maybe 5, 6, maybe you put 8 pills in there, something like that, 8 to 10 pills. Let's see what else we've got here. Pat, for me, my eye problem had been, okay. Elizabeth's talking to Pat. All righty. Yeah, okay, help each other where you find all of this. Good. OHM Pharma. Okay. Have you ever had clients or students that tell you syzygium made their blood sugar? Okay, Elizabeth asked me that already. Very good. Yeah. Thank you, Susan from Ohio. That does sound good with the spices. Really nice to have spices too. Can give up chocolate for those raspberry croissants. I know, that's so funny. All righty. Let's see. I mean, we went to a Mexican restaurant in Miami a week ago, and they had a section on their menu for insects, all kinds. Oh, goodness sakes, really? I don't know. I don't know, but if I could see them or they were large, I don't know that I could do that. I'm open to a lot of foods. I mean, I eat tripe, not trout, tripe, tongue. I've had brain. You name it. I've had it from when it comes to something from a cow. All right. Oh, Gymnemna, Sylvester Q, I found helpful. So that's MD said that. I'd like to know, are you talking about for craving of sweets or your sugar, blood sugar? Tell me more about that, MD. The cinnamon is in, I don't think it's tincture. I would call it essential oil of cinnamon, Ceylon cinnamon. Yep. Gymnema is the Sylvester. I know. I've never used that. I've read about it. When I crave soda, I know I am thirsty. I drink water. Can be a bit of lime and salt, or with apple cider and a bit of honey. Says Carol. Let's see. Let's see if we can get that. Gymnema Sylvester. I am greedy when it comes to food. Did you address this? That's such a great point, J Bean. It's that's a very interesting point. The first remedy I think of for that, now I've not looked it up, and it is in here. It's in the repertory. I always think of sulfur. That's just my first thought. Especially when it comes to food, they are often people who give who are generous, but when it comes to food, they hoard it. They keep it to themselves. Let's see. Diane says, if we have any kind of sweets craving, it usually means we are low in bioavailable copper. Could be. Diane, you may have a very valid comment. For sugar, says MD. For sugars, meaning sugar, for craving of sugars, right? Not blood sugar. For cravings of sugar. Gymnema, Sylvester. All right. Let's see if we're at 8:32, so I'm going to quickly try to get to the bottom of this. In Canada, you can buy Syzygium from Thompson's. Thank you. That's good. All righty. All righty. Okay. Good. I think we've got it. I think we covered everything that I wanted to make sure that I covered tonight. And I'm going to tell you that it seems to me that it is a lifelong condition, and it's this craving of pastries, of sweets, of bread, of ice cream. Ice cream is usually pulsatilla, but it's something that I work very hard to curb, and I'm sure many of you are doing the same thing, because if I didn't, and when I didn't, I turned into a condominium. Not a full house, because I'm not very tall, but I was a good-sized condominium at one point. So, my friends, it's so great to see you. Perry, are you ready? We're going to go to Mighty's.
Give me a smile.
Okay. Thank you, friends. Great to see you. Thank you for your trust in me. Love to see you next time. We'll talk again. So those who are Mighty's, stay with me.